You know, when we think about a global crisis, we usually picture like a massive meteor hitting the Earth or maybe a fault line cracking open.
Right, yeah, it's cinematic. We always expect the cause to match the scale of the effect.
Exactly. But looking at global economics and supply chains today, the real disaster movie is, well, it's terrifyingly boring.
Mm.
We aren't looking at meteors, we're looking at invisible dominoes. So welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah, we're exploring a really fascinating recent economic analysis today. It dives into systemic fragility, the conflict in the Middle East, and the current AI boom.
And our mission here is to unpack those hidden dominoes, just to show you exactly how fragile the systems powering your daily life truly are. And, we should mention that we are just impartially exploring these viewpoints. We're not taking any political sides here.
Definitely. We just want to look at the cold, hard math of how these supply chains actually work. So, starting with the physical geography, there is a single 21-kilometer stretch of water called the Strait of Hormuz.
Right, which is basically holding up the modern world, right?
Good.
And it's not just about oil.
No, not at all. What is really wild here is what else passes through that narrow choke point. We're talking up to 30% of the world's helium and like 20 to 30% of its fertilizer.
Wait, helium? I mean, I'm just picturing party balloons here. How does a lack of helium stop the modern world?
Well, helium is an inert gas, which means it doesn't interact with other chemicals. And it turns out it is absolutely essential for manufacturing semiconductors and microchips.
Oh, wow. So you cut off that supply, and global memory chip production just halts entirely.
Exactly. And the fertilizer. Losing that supply could trigger a global food production collapse. We're talking about risking famine for 1 to 2 billion people.
Okay, let's unpack this. It is a terrifying bottleneck. It's like a single blocked artery that simultaneously starves your smartphone of its processing power and, well, your dinner plate of its food.
Yeah, and it reveals a massive blind spot in modern economic thinking. See, capitalist models usually treat resources as perfectly replaceable. Like, if you can't get oil from one place, the market magically substitutes it from another.
Right, the invisible hand just fixes it.
Exactly, but helium is virtually irreplaceable for tech. It completely breaks the assumption that the market won't miss a beat.
Okay, so if that physical bottleneck gets squeezed by regional conflict, things escalate fast. The analysis actually maps out 5 potential paths this could take, right?
Yeah, and some are incredibly extreme. There's the Samson Doctrine, which refers to an existential nuclear retaliation, essentially a state taking its enemies down with it if its own destruction is imminent.
Man, that's terrifying.
It is. But even the non-nuclear options exert immense economic pressure. Take the strategy of Iran systematically neutralizing Gulf power grids. Just an emergency shutdown of Dubai's airport costs an estimated $1.4 billion a day.
Wait, 1.4 billion a day? So what does this all mean? Are these extreme nuclear scenarios and grid attacks just, high stakes political poker and bluffing rather than actual probabilities?
I get why you'd think that, but it connects to a bigger issue. It is absolutely not a bluff. Wealthy, advanced nations deeply underestimate the preparedness and asymmetrical warfare tactics of their adversaries.
How so? Like, what does that preparation actually look like?
Well, the source notes that Iran, for example, has reportedly decentralized its military into 31 distinct self-sustaining divisions. So if top leadership is taken out, the regional divisions just survive and keep fighting.
Man, so the physical hardware of our world is literally hanging by a thread. But what about the software side? I mean, the digital world feels safer, but this analysis says the AI bubble is just as precarious.
Oh, the numbers are staggering. Right now, there is a 5-to-1 ratio of money being spent on AI infrastructure versus actual revenue coming in.
Wait, really? 5 to 1?
Yeah, and the failure rate for AI startups has hit 90%. Building AI requires astronomical amounts of computing power, so companies are burning $5 just to keep the servers running for every $1 they make back.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me. Is this AI frenzy just a classic necessary boom and bust, like the 19th century railroads, where initial investors go bankrupt, but society ultimately gets the infrastructure?
Well, economists call that the Schumpeter cycle, and it fits, sure, but there is a unique danger here. Unlike railroads, which created entirely new industries, AI has the potential to permanently eliminate the need for vast swaths of the existing labor market.
Right, without replacing those jobs. So
Right.
potentially making something like universal basic income an absolute necessity.
Exactly. If this bubble pops, it is a massive shift in how we value human labor.
So your daily survival is tied to this hyper-fragile web, which is why the expert in the analysis advises building personal resilience, right? Like investing in solar panels or growing your own food to insulate yourself from these macro shocks.
Yeah, self-sufficiency is key when global systems are optimized to be this tightly wound. Any snap is felt everywhere.
Which leaves us with this. If our global supply chains are so heavily optimized that a single 21-kilometer waterway can simultaneously break the world's food and technology supplies, have we unknowingly engineered our own doom by prioritizing extreme economic efficiency over basic survival resilience? Something to think about the next time you tap your phone.